discovered a crashed flying saucer. Holy shit.
Good day to you, my friends. My name is Duncan Trussell, and today we're going to talk about Timothy Leary.
I have a quick question I want to ask you. How much is acid? Okay, there's my answer.
Well, it should be free. So, Timothy Leary was a professor at Harvard, and he starts doing these amazing experiments with LSD. So, Timothy Leary starts announcing to the world, there's no reason that you have to go to war and kill people you don't know. We're all one thing, man. I've learned this from this chemical. Tune in, turn on, drop out. Nixon was president. So, Richard Nixon said, Timothy Leary must be stopped. Like, they wanted him in jail. They're psychopaths. You're dealing with you're dealing with like lunatics. Timothy Leary is in Laguna Beach, gets pulled over by a cop. They plant joints on him. The cop is like, oh yeah, we found 2 roaches in your car. So Leary's like, really? You're gonna arrest me for this? Really? That's who you are? You asshole! So he got put in jail. And the sentence is 30 years. He goes to prison in San Luis Obispo. San Luis Obispo. I can't stop. So Leary is in prison, sitting in his bunk, thinking to himself, why am I in prison? I'm in prison because of some backwards bullshit, narcissistic government that we're supposed to act like it's the way things work in this shit game we call the United States. So he starts planning an escape. So like, he made friends with the people who've been in prison the longest. They tell him like, well, there's a cable that runs over the prison that if someone had the guts, they could crawl across that wire and probably get free. And that's how you get out of here, baby. And
Call him baby.
Yeah. Okay, so he meets every Sunday with his wife, Rosemary. And he's like, I love you. You're amazing. You're beautiful. I want to get out of prison. So let's raise some money and figure out a way for someone to get me the out of this shithole. Rosemary raised $23,000. Gave it to the Weather Underground. So the Weather Underground was a group of activist students. They were like, listen, if you really want to get out of this prison, do it in late September, because that's when the fogs come. And so he waits, and he starts working out. So Timothy Leary was like playing handball, sit-ups, working out in the day. Timothy Leary is playing handball, doing bench presses, sit-ups, getting ripped. So on September 12th, 1970, it's foggy. It's the perfect time to escape. So Dr. Timothy Leary decided, all right, I'm gonna get the out of this stupid shithole. So he creeps out of his cell. He gets out of there, goes out into the hallway, and he looks around the hall. So he sneaks around into a doorway that opens up to the prison yard. Runs across the prison yard in the dead of the night. He avoids the lights and climbs up a tree. And he's like on the rooftop, like a squirrel, runs over the roof. And there's a wire. So he gets to the cable. He begins to climb across the cable. So he's hanging. Really think about this, man. This is Galileo. This is one of the smartest people that ever lived. This is one of the smartest of us.
I'm with you.
All right. So halfway through the cable, he thinks to himself, I'm out of energy. They're gonna poke me out of here like a sloth in a tree with a stick. I'm gonna die. And then he found something deep inside of him, some reservoir of energy. And he's like, no, I'm gonna keep moving. And I'm gonna climb across this f***ing cable. And that's what he did. Climbed across the cable, dropped down. So Leary's running down the f***ing road. Half mile. He's been training for this. Rocky Balboa, he's Rocky Balboa.
Now you have to say it.
He's Rocky Balboa. He's running down the street. Van pulls up. It's the Weather Underground. And they're like, hey, let's go down, Jerry, are you idiot? So they capture him again. He gets sentenced to Folsom, and then Governor Jerry Brown gets him a pardon. He leaves a free man. He went to jail for nothing. He was imprisoned because he was too smart. If being smart was illegal, we would be in the best planet on Earth. Being smart is not illegal. Being dumb is legal.
What are your dogs' names?
This is Fox, and that's Gatsby. It's ruining everything. I knew they would.
I thought they were being locked away in the basement.
Well, they got out. They escaped. My
They escaped!
Hello. Today we're going to be talking about the Roswell UFO crash of 1947. So Mac Brazel, a foreman for a sheep rancher, he sees some metallic pieces laying upon his acreage. And he's like, well, this is very interesting. I mean, what the ding dong could this really be? There are some things going on this ranch that defy human explanation. So immediately he contacts the local Army Air Force base. They send out a guy named Major Jesse Marcel, a very decorated, very smart individual. The Major Jesse Marcel is like, well, this is not from us. This is not from the Air Force. This is not from a crashed airplane. This is not crashed from a satellite. This must be alien. So Major Jesse Marcel contacts the local paper and says, we have discovered a crashed flying saucer. Holy shit. In the newspaper, they actually put, the military has recovered alien spacecraft that is crashed with wreckage. The Pentagon is freaking out. So they're basically saying, oh, Jesus Christ. Project Mogul, you know that thing we're doing? The balloon that we're testing with microphones trying to detect Russian nuclear activity? Our top secret project has crashed on a sheep rancher's property, man. This was the most top secret project going on at the time. And Project Mogul was a weather balloon atmospheric craft that was going to detect sounds of a nuclear test going on with nuclear weapons. All of a sudden, the Pentagon, they are swarming the area. They're cornering off the whole area. They're picking up debris. The Pentagon kept the Air Force in the dark about this whole thing. So Major Jesse Marcel said, we are in the midst of a huge cover-up. Holy shit, this is crazy. Which for the Pentagon is exactly what they wanted. Secret military, alien. The perfect smokescreen. Years go on, and no one gave a shit. And the local town people sort of forgot about it, and it wasn't a big deal. They're like, oh yeah, well, not really sure what happened, blah, blah, blah. Everyone forgot about it. Until 1978. Jesse Marcel, now a very aging man, calls up famed ufologist Stanton T. Friedman. I need to tell you a little bit of a story. It's the story of the Roswell UFO crash. Stanton Friedman's like, I'm hilarious. Give me the juice. Give me the juice that I so desire. Well, I'm sorry, I'm lost. Okay.
We're talking about Roswell.
And yeah. So Stanton Friedman flies down there from Northern California. is just like, I'm loving this. This is a great situation. Marcel, he gives him the whole Roswell spiel. Stanton Friedman hears all about this. And so he's like, pay dirt, Eureka, I am going to write a book. And write a book he does. He writes a bestseller. Roswell now, which had been forgotten about for 30 years, becomes a huge deal. And thus is born a whole new generation of ufologists. It must be an alien spacecraft from another planet. Capiche?
Capiche.
In 1995, citizens kept on writing in saying, can you please tell us what happened with Roswell? So the Pentagon says, all right, you deserve to know. We will release all the Freedom of Information Act, Foia documents. They do so, and the whole story about Project Mogul comes out. The reality of the situation is that extraterrestrial beings from another planet did not crash in the desert of Roswell, New Mexico. And now today, Roswell, the town, refuses to acknowledge Project Mogul. So they are the ones projecting the UFO angle with all this stuff. Well, this is a kind of a rendition of the typical Pleiadian gray alien. He's got the teardrop almond eyes, the nose with the limited slits, and in the mouth.
How much did you pay for this thing?
$450.
Jesus.
Got a good deal.
They saw you coming. They didn't show you the back part till you left.
I didn't see that till I got home, and yeah, I did feel like quite a heel for that.
Hey now, my name is Lucius Dillon. Today we're going to talk about the mysterious death of Thomas Ince. Was he murdered or deaded? Dead.
What?
All right, so the year is November of 1924. Thomas Ince was a big deal Hollywood producer. And big old, huge newspaper tycoon, William Randolph Hearst, wanted to get into the movie industry. Hearst is like, hey, it's your 44th birthday. Why don't you come to my yacht? We'll take a 3-day cruise. We'll get some celebrities. We'll sign some contracts to make us business partners. It's gonna be a great, 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 great humdinger of a good time. So he's like, great. So they set out on the yacht. So it's Hearst, and it's Ince, and it's actress Marion Davies. She was Hearst's very unsecretive mistress. And it's Charlie Chaplin, and it's also gossip columnist Luella Parsons, and other people not famous enough to mention this story. So they all go out for 3 days, but when the boat returns, Thomas Ince was dead. Party over. The newspaper read, big hotshot Hollywood producer shot dead on Hearst's boat. But then the evening edition said, ha ha ha, whoops, just kidding. He actually died of heart failure in Hearst's home. So yeah, weird. But things get more confusing because at Thomas's funeral, Ince's wife, Eleanor, is like, it's so terrible that my husband has died. Okay, thanks, come again. And then she cremated him immediately and f***ed off to Europe. So that was kind of odd. We know he's dead. That's the one fact that we know. But since there's so many different stories, I mean, it's pretty much like the movie Clue.
But we're gonna figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out. So one of the theories is that Thomas Ince had a problem with ulcers because he was a big Hollywood producer and had a lot of stress and shit on his mind. Of course, when he gets on the yacht, champagne's flowing, they were having hootenannies and bee-bah, billies and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, salted almonds. Yes, I probably shouldn't. Okay, I'll have 1 or 40. Then, of course, when it comes to toasting time, it's like, okay, it's my f***ing birthday. Toast to me, love me. But because of that, it ruptured his ulcer. And the next morning, he wakes up with a heart attack. Not that cool, and then died.
That's theory 1.
That's theory 1. So theory 2 is they were having a great old time for 3 days, except for Chaplin, who was in his room, alone, suicidal, because like, I'm Chaplin. I'm a big old genius. I hate myself. Oh, look at here. There's a diamond-encrusted pistol. Ince comes in. It's like, hey, Chappie, what's going on? Look at you. Are you being funny? No, I'm being depressed. Clearly I have a pit. Oh, shit, I just shot you. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, okay, God. Oh. But here's the prevailing theory. Hearst had a whole yacht party. Ding ding, baby, dee blah ba dee boop boop, ding ding ba ba, bing ba boo ba ooh ooh, dee 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 boo. So there's a lot of music.
Why did you stop?
And cut to Ince and Hearst going down the hall, and Hearst is like, oh, I love Chaplin because he does nice things to my bankroll. I love Davies because she does nice things to my downstairs. Oh! They see Chaplin and Davies having some
sex.
Yes. So then, come back to Hearst had a diamond-crusted pistol. Like, how dare you, Charlie Chaplin? Not Chaplin, but how dare you, Chaplin? I'm going to shoot you both. So Ince did a slow motion. No, he makes money for Hollywood. And someone got shot, and it was Ince. And he died. But maybe not. So after the incident, everyone was like, so, Luella, you were on the yacht? What's the scoop? Was it Hearst? Was it Chaplin? Was it Davies? What happened? I saw nothing. I was not on the yacht. I was 3,000 miles away. You didn't even know about it. She was there. She didn't say anything.
What do you believe happened?
I think that Hearst shot him on the yacht with a revolver, and he was buying up everyone to shut them the f up. I mean, he bought his gossip columnist, he bought Ince's wife, and he got away with it because Hearst owns everything. He owns all the newspapers. He is the Citizen Kane, the Rosebud, and after all that, Hearst said like, hey everybody, Thomas Ince didn't die of natural causes. Wait, no, yeah, he did die. Thomas Ince did not die of murder. He died of natural causes. Nice try. I'm Hearst. And I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife. Good night.
Do you have any other theories? No?